Brent Brooks from High Rise Firefighting. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the Standpipe Kit. Lots of different kits out there, lots of different options out there. The biggest mistake that I find is that departments building a Standpipe Kit will overload it. They'll get everything for search, they'll get everything for ventilation, for troubleshooting, for cutting roof hatches, wire brushes, chalk in the box, extra wheels, spare nozzles, overhaul nozzles. The reality is you don't need all that. If you're going to build a good standpipe kit, you need to start at the fire and work your way back. Departments that start with the kit and overload it, when it comes to picking a proper hose and nozzle package, they're already overweighted, so they decide to maybe go with a smaller diameter hose size that can't meet those flows just because of the amount of weight that firefighters are carrying. If you make this as light as possible, in the area that I work in, we have 3,000 high-rise buildings. We do a lot of walking day. We always have to do a 2-story stair climb every time, so we needed light hose, light kit, just because of the endurance aspects. Firefighters come in all different shapes, sizes, and physical abilities. We need something that was okay for everybody. When you do pick your kit, think about the classes of systems that you have in your building and work to those classes of system. Most departments have a class 1, class 2, and class 3 system, and that's how this particular kit is built. We do run the proper hose and nozzle package. We know what we're flowing. We worked from our nozzle and hose and worked our way back from there. And we ended up, the last thing was our kit. When we do look at the kit, without even opening it, all our door control stuff's nice and handy on the outside. We have our 2-inch spring clamps. We used to keep them on the handle here, and it was great for getting out of the rig. But when we went to open the kit, the handles would actually fall in behind, and it just became a little bit problematic. And with a glove firefighter's hand, it took up some real estate on the handle. So we've decided to mount them here. It works great. We also do the door straps. The Elkhart bag comes with these carabiners on both sides. We mounted them there. They do have an extra pocket here on the outside that you can mount them as well. I like the fact that this shoulder strap does come off. I've seen straps get hung up on SCBA bottles and etc. You can just detach the kit or run with this on your bottle until after the fire, but at least it's something for our safety. We can get rid of that strap if it gets tangled up in something. On this side of the kit, again, keeping with the whole door control strap, we have our 22-foot webbing with forcible entry wedge on it, and I'll show you that in a minute. When you open the kit itself, everything's nicely laid out. Everything's kind of been painted a different color and changes. If we grab this, it's just a driving range, very lightweight, but this marks our PRD removal tool. It's long for a reason, and I'll explain that in the episode on this tool. We replaced the typical hose spanners with mini spanners. Modus Fire makes these nice and light. You always need 2, so we tethered it together and we put the driving range ball on it for easy recognition. We have a 60-degree painted elbow. We had the lugs removed on it so we can get this inside a class 2 cabinet. We'll talk about class 2 cabinets in another episode. We put our increasers, and we haven't modified the case itself. It actually comes with 2 nice pockets, but we have our increasers. The reason why we carry 2 is for our class 2 cabinets. I know it's preferred to stretch from the truck, but we carry 2 because in some buildings we do have to hook up to a class 2, and I'll explain that in that episode. And our next increaser is so we can actually spin the tip off our nozzle and add to the front section of it. We put these 32-inch metal wire ties on these so they're easily recognizable in the bag and they can be pulled out with a glove firefighter's hand. The reality is when you're adding a length of hose to the front section, you will be doing it in bad conditions. So it's nice to have the ability to take that out, and we can also use this to secure the bail. If we look at the meat and potatoes, it is the gate and gauge. Every standpipe system, regardless, this is what you need to have. It is the meat and potatoes. You need to have a gate, you need to have a pressure gauge, and you need to have a 45-degree elbow width bleeder. We keep ours pre-assembled in the bag because we're using it this way every single time. Some departments will say, well, you can put it on this side, you can put it on that side. If you don't need the elbow, don't put it on. The problem is if you don't put that elbow on and a uncharged hose line gets charged underneath a closed door, you're trapped. The nozzle firefighter is trapped on one side, the control firefighter is trapped on the other side, and we need to get them out in a hurry. So always have this elbow hooked up. If you need that extra elbow, we do have the 60. The 60 can go on either side of this. The reason why we have a gate is because that building's valve, it's multiple turns to open, and it's multiple turns to open. If we want to fully open this Elkhart gate, it's 12 turns to open, it's 12 turns to close. Most times you'll have this open about 4.5 turns. In saying that, if it's a PRV, the building system is a PRV, you're required to have that PRV open all the way in order for it to work properly. So we need a gate to control our pressure. If you're not running a pressure gauge on your standpipe kit, that would be equivalent to going to a house fire and putting duct tape over top of your gate or over top of your gauges. You have no idea what you're flowing. You have no idea if you're going to be even capable of attempting to fight that type of fire, and you're not going to be able to troubleshoot the system before opening up the nozzle. This is so critical. We do it for all our other fires. We need to start doing it for our standpipe operations, and that's knowing what we flow. The 45-degree elbow bleeder, I just talked about that really quickly, but this is for firefighter safety, and that's why we have it. This setup, if a door does become closed over top of an uncharged hose line and charge, we're rapidly closing it with this, we're rapidly opening it with that, stepping on the hose line, and we'll reset. Last thing in our kit, I shouldn't say last thing, but real important thing is our 18-inch pipe wrench. I like to keep the 18-inch pipe wrench just open about an inch or so. This is for opening the seized valve wheels. Valve wheels are generally intentionally over tightened so kids don't open them up. A hose spanner is something that it doesn't work well on the wheels. If it's a broken wheel, it'll work on the spindle. If the wheel is there, this generally won't fit. On the episode of 18-inch pipe wrench, we'll show you how to use this, but it goes inside the wheel and it gives you all the leverage. That's why you won't see any wheels in our standpipe kit because there's no need of it. Another thing, and this isn't mandatory, but we decided to try this. It's a magnetic strobe light. It can be used with the gloved firefighter's hand. We can give it a twist. We can mark our cabinet, our stairwell exit. It is a cool tool, and I'll explain all of these individually in our other episodes. It's up to you. It's optional, and you got to know the buildings in your city, but you might need some PRV adjustment tools. If it's field adjustable, you'll know if you don't have those type of PRVs, there's no point in overweighting your standpipe kit, and you may not need this type of equipment, and I'll talk about that in a different episode. What I also like about this kit, it has drain holes in the bottom. Every time we set up our standpipe kit, is going to be by a valve. We're going to end up flooding this, so it's just nice to have those drains. It's nicely padded. Again, kind of a fan of it. I didn't pull out my door control strap and webbing, so I'll do it now. It's 22 inches long, tied in a continuous loop. It's done that way so a gloved firefighter's hand can go through, easily tie our girth hitch for door control. The one end, when we do tie it, it'll be in a water knot, so you have to learn how to tie that. And we also put our forcible entry wedge on it. Forcible entry wedge for doors, door control strap for control, the two kind of go hand in hand. If you don't carry a door control strap, that's fine. We do in our department because of a bad fire we had way back in 2010 where we lost door control and took us 5.5 hours to get back to it. Because of that, that's why we carry it. Again, don't overload your standpipe kit. Keep it nice and light. Know what you're flowing. From the nozzle and hose and your gate and gauge are the most important things. Find out what you're flowing. overhaul nozzles, spare nozzles, all that type of stuff, that can come post-fire. Other crews can bring that up, or you'll be exhausted anyways. You can go down, change your bottle, and come up with the equipment you need. This is all the equipment you need for a Class 1, Class 2, Class 3 system. And in our department, we've got rid of all our gated Ys. That's another episode. And this kit also replaces our gated Y. Thank you very much. Brent Brooks from High Rise Firefighting. Be safe.